Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to our session today, talking and covering GitHub pages from repository to blog in minutes. So our session today, we really going to speak about very interesting topic about how to create your website or blog using a very good technology, which is GitHub Pages. So let's kick start. Okay. This session will be recorded and published on social media. It's actually live now on LinkedIn. So if you don't like to be recorded, please leave the session and you can watch it later on the public video. Okay, let's see our agenda today. So first, we will get an overview about what is GitHub Pages, so people can just get a very high level overview about that. And after that, we will have a very small comparison between WordPress and GitHub Pages. Then we will talk about a case study, migration from WordPress to GitHub, which is my blog. I migrate my blog from WordPress to GitHub Pages, and we will share with you some tips and the tricks, which is covered by my colleague Rahab. And then after that, after the migration, I will start explaining how we can configure the DNS so it can work with GitHub Pages. And then I will just give you a very snapshot from the migration of my blog. And then we will look at our community blog, which is DevOps Vision community, which is, we're using this space for people from our community so they can publish technical articles and also some leadership skills and so on. After that, I will give you a very high overview about the demos, and then I will hand over to my colleague Rahab that will cover all making step by step for the demos. And then, of course, if you have any Q&A, we can answer that. Okay, so all our community work, everything we are going, to present is open source, and we are building an comprehensive frameworks and toolkits, are all of them available on the DevOps Visions on GitHub public. Okay, let's start from an overview about the GitHub Pages. So as you can see, GitHub Pages is just a free hosting services. It's a technology by GitHub that give you ability to host your website by using a Git repository. It support different technology like Markdown, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And since this technology and it's only supporting for a static website, so it is perfectly recommended, or you can use it for personal websites or portfolio or documentations, something similar to Azure DevOps Docs or Azure Docs or GitHub documentation. All of that you can use it as a GitHub Pages as a websites. And since this is a Git repository, everything will be under version control, and this will be managing by GitHub. And since this static, as we mentioned before, so it is very fast. It doesn't require any database, or any server. You can just have them on GitHub repo and just configure this GitHub repo with a custom domain and the DNS, and then this will be a website, and you can, as we mentioned, have really a very good website, as we will see in the demo. Okay, so let's have a good comparison between WordPress and GitHub. So as you can see from the usage, WordPress is very friendly, user interface. You can have drag and drop, but for GitHub Pages, you really need to have I will not say even some coding skills, because even in our first demo, we'll explain to you how to use ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot. So you can write your blog very easily, even if you don't know the code. It will be very easy to write blog posts. But either you're using ChatGPT or any generative AI tool, you still need to write that in a format of coding. With the customization, WordPress is a very high customizable using themes and plugins. With GitHub Pages, there is themes, but any customization required additional coding skills. For hosting, WordPress hosting, since it is using a database, which is MySQL, and PHP files, which required a web server. So usually you pay it for WordPress hosting. Uh, of course, there's some free plans for hosting WordPress, but this is comes with advertisement, with limited feature. But if you want to go with more feature and without advertisements, then you will need to pay for WordPress. But for GitHub Pages, it's completely free. For CMS or content management system, WordPress is really built with CMS very easy, but with GitHub Pages, there is no CMS. This is why can be used for e-commerce or business websites. For GitHub, yes, it can use as a personal website or even company website that doesn't require any interactivity or dynamic content that connect with database or server sites. From development, of course, with WordPress, it's very limited because either you need to develop a plugins or make some customization, but with GitHub Pages, it's really very flexible. For maintenance, WordPress has regular updates. Usually for GitHub repo, it is your repo. So it is your responsibility to get the latest, anything and based on the content of your repository. And of course, for SEO, WordPress has really many and great tools for SEO as a ready-made plugins. So it is very easy. But when it comes to GitHub, you would spend more time and effort for doing an SEO. Okay, so let's talk about our use case or my use case when I migrated my blog from WordPress to GitHub Pages. Actually, I was paying, I used one of the WordPress hosting, which is really not good. Okay, I will not share the company, but it really was not good. I had this hosting, I think maybe more than 10 years, something like that. And I was paying around 400 every year. Uh, so, and this is why, and even after my blog, I have more than 400 posts, many posts, and the websites become really very huge. And so I was really struggling even with the hosting and services and even paying this money. But then we migrated my blog from WordPress to GitHub Pages, and was completely free. Of course, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Rahab because she's really the one that helped me with this migration. So we changing the form of the blog posts, all the posts from WordPress to be GitHub Pages, and we have the repository, and it's really working very well. After the migration, you just usually go for your domain provider, go for your your domain, selecting DNS, and starting adding record, and just mapping to the GitHub Pages repo that including your website. And as you can see, of course, this is my blog after the migration on GitHub Pages. And as you can see, it is just, you can Google it now, or you can just visit the URL mohammedradwan.com, and you will see all that with hundreds of blog posts that migrated already. And this is our DevOps Vision community blog. This blog, as I mentioned before, this is our space for hosting our technical articles and sharing the knowledge with our community members. And this is also using GitHub Pages. And we have in our roadmap about our community, we have really going to invest heavily in GitHub Pages, doing about our documentation for our frameworks and toolkits. All of them will be published as on this website. It is the same as GitHub Docs or Azure Docs. So you will have huge documentation here. You can see that. And of course, you can access from this website. Okay, so in our demos today, let me give you a quick overview. For the first demo, we will just give you an overview how to publish a blog post to an existing GitHub page. And the main idea here, when I had my conversation, or I had the conversation with Rahab about, what is the demos that we should present in this session. So we thought, okay, let's divide our demos today. The first, if someone, they are, maybe they are not developer, they don't have a good experience about Git, they don't want to get, all this complexity about this code and all of that. So our demo, the first demo, is just covering someone that with like, very limited knowledge about coding and Git. So how to publish a blog post to an existing blog or website, which is our community. Actually, we have even Waddah here today. And the reason for this demo, that Waddah really has a very good article. And we thought that, okay, let's publish that. But maybe some of our community events, they are not technical. So this demo will really help them how they can publish very easily a blog post to our community blog. The second demo will be two parts. It will cover an end-to-end. This will give you the steps how to create the GitHub pages in the first place, how to configure the GitHub action, and how to do all the steps that's required. If you don't know how to do that, but of course, it's required a little bit of coding skills so you can understand all the life cycle. Okay, so I will hand over now to my colleague Rahab so she can start the demos.
Okay, so I will share my screen first. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Rahab Ragab, DevOps engineer and member of DevOps Visions community. We have two demos today. Actually, three. The second demo is divided to two parts. So we have three demos. And as Radwan mentioned and give you a high overview about the demos, um, the first one, it's a high level overview of how can anyone contribute to our community blog post, or even anyone in a public community or anyone would like to contribute to any open source project. So this is the first demo. The second one will give you more details about how you can publish your static site or your website to GitHub Pages in just a few minutes and with no cost. So let's get started with the first one. This is our organization in GitHub. It's DevOps Visions. We have many repos here, and one of these repos is devopsvisions.github.io. This repo. And before opening this repo and investigate it and see how it what it contains, let's say that GitHub Pages is a static site hosting service which take uh, your static files, HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, and host it in GitHub repo, in GitHub Pages. And host it in GitHub Pages. And also let me tell you that there are three types of sites that you can host in GitHub Pages. The first one is you can host a site for your organization, and this is the first type in this demo. And you can also host a site for your project or for your repo. And we'll see that in the second demo. And the third type is you can host a site for your personal or your user account, user site, or your blog post, or whatever website will contain. So there are three demos, and there are three types, and we'll cover all three types on all demos. This is the first type, is hosting a website for your organization. So our organization is DevOps Visions. So to host a website for your organization, the repo must have the same name of your organization. So here DevOps Visions. So the repo is DevOps Vision followed by .github.io, which is the default domain for GitHub Pages. And if your organization name, or your personal account has any capital letters, it should be converted to small letters, like as you can see here, devopsvisions.github.io. So let's investigate and see what's this repo. This repo is just a Git repo in GitHub, and have some files, some folders, and we need to focus more here in this demo more about how you can contribute. We we don't need to take some time to see what is this structure, what this file do, and all this. We focus in this demo in how you have value in format of post, and you would like, or you have value in format of any value, and you would like to contribute and add this value to any other open source project or a blog post in our case. And in the upcoming demos, we'll see all these details in the second demos. So this is the link for our blog post, get devopsvisions.github.io. And if you follow us, we recently published this post. So we have this post talking about GitHub issue types. It was public preview. Actually, I'm not sure it's GA now or still public preview, but in time we published this post, it was public preview, and also we held this session talking about it. It was in GitHub if you would like to have a quick look. We have many other pages like category, archive, and this is about page, about our community. And we are planning to customize this layout and add more sections in the upcoming days. So this is the blog post, and you are now a member of our community, and would like to publish your post here. So let's see how we can do this. Navigating to the repo here. If you would like to contribute to any open source project or this repo, the first thing is you have to fork this repo. Okay, So what fork is? Fork is just you taking a copy of this original repo to your GitHub account to be under your repository inside your GitHub account. So let's fork it. This is under my personal account, Rahab Abu Talib, and create fork. It will taking a copy from the original repo. So we have now two repos, the original repo under the organization, and this is the forked repo or a copy from the original repo under my personal account. Okay, so we have a copy now, and we have a post, or we have some additions we would like to add to this repo. So to add this contribution, let's take another copy, but this copy now it will be a local copy. So again, let me here copy this URL and navigate to your local machine. So navigating to your local machine, inside the location you would like to have this copy, and open git bash. And before this step, there is a prerequisite. You must install Git first. Okay, and to install it, it's so easy. Just browse, download Git, and download it and install it. It's easy, and it's a cross platform. You can download it in any type of your of machine, Windows, Linux, Mac, and so on. So here navigating to the locations, so CD repos, and to clone it, just type this command git clone and paste the URL that we have already copied. It will clone the repo, taking as a copy. Now there is a new folder here, devopsvision.github.io here, as you can see. So now we have two copies. The first one, when we forked the repo from the original one, it's a server copy. You copied the original from the original repo to your GitHub account. And the second copy, you clone it or copy it from your forked repo to your local machine. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we have this repo, local repo. Let's open it. And this is the structure of the repo. Let's navigating it to inside the repo, cd devopsvisions.github.io. I'm now inside the local repo. And also another prerequisite, you need to have any text editor. In my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code, so you can download Visual Studio Code. Just Google download Visual Studio Code and download it. Again, it's also a cross-platform, so download it and install it. It's so easy. And I will open my repo inside Visual Studio Code to get started to adding my blog post. So this is the structure of the repo. The most important folder here we are caring about in this demo is posts, where all posts will are located inside. And as you can see, the posts have a specific naming convention, which is year, month, day, and post name separated by hyphen, and in the format of markdown.md. It's a markdown format. Also, this is the structure of the post from inside. All is markdown. Started by this section at the top here. Don't think more about it, but as your post must have the same structure of the existing one, the same structure of the content, the same structure or the same naming convention. And this is the content of the blog post that we have already seen, which is issue types, markdown, this images, links, list, markdown. If you are familiar of markdown, it will be easy for you. Just get your post and type it in a markdown format and add it under posts folder. Okay, so what if I don't have any knowledge about markdown and I have value to add here? Uh, we will use, it's the age of AI, so we'll use one of AI tools, ChatGPT, to help us convert our blog post from the format you have to the markdown, follow the same structure and the same naming convention. So I prepared here a sample post in format of Word document, and it's about how to publish your blog post on GitHub, but it's not just a sample, not the same steps or.
Yeah.
So let's navigate to ChatGPT and use it to help us converting our Word document to a markdown. This is my prompt, asking it to convert the Word document to a markdown and follow the same structure of this markdown file. So I attached two files, my Word document file and markdown file. It will start converting it, and you can download it from here. This is the file. Let's copy it and locate it inside the location where all posts will should be inside, which is posts folder. And let's open Visual Studio Code to see if there is any changes we should. This is the naming. It followed the same naming convention, as you can see here, and also the same structure of the file. This is the section at the top, which have some metadata for the post, like layout, post, the title, date, author, categories, tags, and so on. And this is the content of our new blog post, all in markdown format. Okay, so what if I would like to add an image or images to my blog post? All images are here inside assets, under assets image, and we have folder for each blog post. So let's also, I prepared the sample image to add here. I will copy it from here to the location where all images are inside here, assets, image. Let's put it here for now, miscellaneous folder, and reference the image inside your markdown file. So this is the way you can add image to your in a markdown format. And this is the boss of the image, asset, and this is the image. And just no time, you have your blog post here. Let's preview and see if we need to make any changes or everything is perfect. So now you have all the changes, or you have your blog post locally in your local repo, the repo we have copied or cloned local on your machine. We need to have these changes to the remote, to add these changes to the remote repo. So to do this, we need to push these changes to the remote repo. First, let's get the status to see the status of our repo. We have two untracked files, the one for your blog post and the second for the image. Let's add these changes. git add all, and then commit the set changes, and here git commit -m and write a descriptive commit message, and then push these changes from the remote repo, from the local repo in your local machine to the remote repo in your account. So here we have 3 commits: new commit, how to publish your blog post, and this is the content of the commit, the file, and the image. Okay, so all it changes now in your remote repo, the repo that you forked from the original one. We need to add the changes to the original repo. So how we can do this? You can use pull request to add these changes to the original repo. So you have to create a new pull request. Pull request, you can think of it, you say to the owner of the original repo, hey, I have some changes, I have a value, I have a contribution, and I would like to add this contribution to your repo. So this is the way to say this. So let's create a new pull request. You can pull request have a title, and you can add a description to describe what the changes you have and create a pull request. And your role finished here as a contributor. You add your blog post and open a pull request. Now it's another role as a reviewer of the original repo, or as a maintainer for the repo or owner. I have a notification here that there is a new pull request, so I will open the pull request, review it, and see if it's a value, or to accept it, or I can't accept it or reject it. So I find that it's a value. So let's type a new thank you message for adding this valuable post. Submit the review, and let's merge the pull request. Merging to merge the changes from the contributor to our original repo. When I merge this pull request, this at the back end, it triggered GitHub action workflow to build our site and publish these changes to GitHub pages. So it will build.
And as a blog contributor, if you are not, if you don't want to, get to these details, it will work by itself. So you are not managing this part.
Yeah. Just to see what's going on the back end. There is a GitHub action workflow. Whenever you commit any changes to the main branch, it will trigger this workflow to build the site and have the new changes deployed to our published site. So succeeded. Let's go to our blog post site and refresh here. Just to give it some second. A new version of content is available. Let's update. And we have this blog post published successfully. This is the content, the image. And just a few minutes, just have a value and add this value to your repo, open the pull request, and everything is done in few minutes. This is the first demo high-level overview of how you can contribute to our blog post, or even to contribute to any open source project. The second demo, we will see how you can start from scratch your website and host it. You contributed to already existing published site. I need now to have my own site. So how can do this in these two demos? So here we have this GitHub account. Before starting, again, GitHub Pages is a static site hosting service which take static files like CSS, JavaScript, HTML file from inside a Git repo and publish your website. So we need to have a Git repo that has our static files to publish to GitHub Pages. So let's create a GitHub repo. This is the second type of the sites that you can publish in GitHub Pages, which is for a project or for a repo. So I created this repo under this personal account, session demos, this repository. Let's give it a sample description and make it public and add a README file and create the repo. GitHub Pages will start searching for an entry file to publish your site. It will search for index.html file or index.markdown file or readme.markdown. So let's start by creating index.html and just create a sample index.html file and see how we can publish it. Index.html, and I prepared this sample index page. So I'm not front end, so just sample to see how was the site. And if we navigate to actions, there is no actions triggered here. So to trigger the action, you must first go to pages under setting of your repository and under build and deploy and deployment. This is defines the source of build and deployment. It's by default to deploy from a branch. Leave it as it is. And here define the branch that you would like. I will select main branch and the location, which is the root here, and click save. What does this mean? This means whenever you push any changes to the main branch, to the branch you selected, which is the main branch in our case, and inside this location, which is the root, this will trigger a GitHub action workflow at the back end to do what we have seen in the first demo, to build your website and deploy the changes to GitHub Pages. So if we open actions, yes, there is triggered here workflow. It will start by building your website. Check out the code and then building the site and creating a build artifact and upload it to GitHub. Then this job to report build status. It succeeded. If we open it from here, as you can see here, the status is success. And then it will take the uploaded build artifact and deploy it to GitHub Pages. This is the artifact name, as you can see here, GitHub-Pages. If we navigate to summary, you can find this is one artifact, which is GitHub Pages, as you can see, and this is the size of the artifact. And then again, this is the URL for our website, and this is the sample index file that we created inside our repo. Welcome to my sample page. This is the home, about, the 404, as we don't have about page. So let's create about page. Let's do it, speed it up, just the same steps. It will trigger a new workflow here when adding a new file for the about. Again, it will build your website and deploy the new changes to your GitHub Pages site. Refreshing here and click on about. So we have about page now. About, home, and that's it. And if you notice here the URL, it's your GitHub, it's the name of my GitHub account, session-demos.github.io / the name of the repo, sample website, and then this is the default domain. Of course, you can add a custom domain, as Radwan mentioned, and even his blog post use a custom domain. So that's it. Creating your static site and enabling GitHub Pages from the setting of your repo, and it will publish your site in GitHub Pages. So simple. That's it for the demo, but I found it will be interesting to see a collection of popular websites that we use that host their sites in GitHub Pages. We have here Bootstrap, Jekyll, Bootstrap here. This is the repo. And this is the link for the site. It's a custom domain. You can, if you would like to add a custom domain, it's so easy. I think you can search for it and do it, but we would like to make the demo as simple as we can. Also, Jekyll is it's hosted on GitHub Pages, and the open source for Twitter, Netflix, React from Facebook. Jekyll here, which is a static site generator, and this is the content for our next demo. It's
And when you look
hosted
at the
in,
site, you will really like it. It looks really great.
yes. And Netflix here, as you can see, just the static files, CSS, images, JavaScript, and this is index, the entry point or the entry file for GitHub Pages. If we open it, here just an HTML file. Navigating to the README, this is the URL, and it uses the default domain .github.io, netflix.github.io, as we use for our blog post, community blog post.
And I think also the main idea perhaps that it's very easy to write a blog post or write any pages. I mean, just using ChatGPT, you just give him, this is the input that I would like to add, and do it like this one. And it will
Yes,
just create it. So it was very easy to do that.
yes, yes, yes. Just help you to convert the format you would like,
Yes,
right?
and this is of course if you are just a content, like a content creator, you just had, blog post, or you just had an article and you would like to publish. You don't need to, have background about HTML or CSS. Just using any AI generative tool to change the format of your post and just publish it very easily.
Yes. And this is the React from Facebook also publish its website on GitHub Pages, react.dev. And another sites that posts in GitHub Pages. So this is the second demo, which we see how you can create your own static site by yourself, index, CSS, and so on. There is another way to use a static site generator to help you creating this static file. So this is the content of the third demo. How to use a static site generator to create your static site and publish this site in GitHub Pages. We had a look at this Jekyll site in the previous demo. This is the documentation, the homepage, and this is the documentation. There is here all the steps you need to follow to create your own static site using this static site generator. So the first step is there is some prerequisites you need to install, and then follows the other step. So let's install the prerequisites first. Here we need to install Ruby version 2.5 or higher, and also we need to install Gem, which is package management for Ruby. So let's navigate to Ruby installer and download it and then install it. Let's select install for all user, accept the license. Next, this is the location, and the next, extracting the files. Let's, yes, finish. Will open this screen. Which component shall be installed? I will select the default one. And let's finish the installation. If we open cmd from here, command prompt, and type, just verify the installation, type ruby -v to display the version for Ruby. So now we have Ruby version 3.3, and also for Gem 3.5, and this is the prerequisites. After that, we need to install Jekyll, which is the static site generator, and Bundler, which is dependency manager for Jekyll. So installed here. So that's all what we need to install, just some prerequisites and Jekyll and Bundler. So let's start by creating our site using Jekyll. I will open a new command prompt and type this command. First, navigating to the location where I would like to creating my site, Jekyll new my blog. So it will create, it will take some time, but I speed it up. This is the folder and the content of it. Let's navigating inside it and open it again in text editor, Visual Studio Code. We have here some files. The first one is the config.yaml file. This file is in a YAML format and have some information configuration like title of your blog post, email, description, base URL, Twitter username, and so on. Also, we have here the theme of your site. When you create a new site without defining the theme, it will create it in this default theme, which is Minima. And we'll see at the end of the demo how you can customize this theme or even choose another theme to create your site with. And also this is the plugins. We have also this folder posts, which all posts will be inside. Again, markdown. And this section that we have seen in the first demo, it's called front matter. It's a YAML section, which if you would like to add variables or metadata for your blog post, you put it at this structure, like layout of the post, title, date, and categories, tags, and so on. Also, this is the about page. If you would like to add more about yourself. Um, and 404 page, you can use it as it is or customize it. So let's now build the site and make it available on local server to see how it looks like. Let's copy the local server URL. And this is how the site looks like. This is the default post. This is the about page, the home page, and so on. So let's start by updating the configuration by changing the title of my website, sample website, changing the email, add your configuration. And here, let's add a new blog post, follow the same naming convention, year, month, then day, and the name of your blog post in format of Markdown. I will paste here the same content of the blog post that we have already published in the first demo. Let's refresh here, and this is the blog post. And this is the author and the date. But we changed the configuration, but it didn't change, it didn't update it here. So we need to just rebuild the site to see the changes of the configuration. So bundle, execute, checkl serve, and refresh here. So this is the changes updated successfully. Sample website, and we have this website now. All this locally, local inside my local machine. I would like to host this site in GitHub Pages. So first I have to create a new repository. And this is the third type of site that you can host in GitHub Pages, which is a user site or a personal site. So here, to create it, must have the same name of your personal account, followed by .github.io. The same we have seen in organization site. And public repo, let's create it. So let's push an existing repository from command line. But this is just a site, not a repo, Git repo. So let's initialize it as a Git repo. If we type Git status here, not a Git repo, so let's Git init to initialize it as a Git repo. So we can push these changes to the remote repo. Git status now, we have all this untracked file. Git add all to add all changes, git commit, and type a commit message. And then let's add git remote add origin repo to our local repo. And then git branch, then push the changes to the remote main, the remote repo on the main branch. Navigating to our repo and refresh here. We have all files and folder of the posts. Navigating to actions, there is no GitHub action workflow triggered, so we need to enable this from setting of the repo pages, deploy from a branch, select the main branch, root, location, and save. This will trigger a GitHub action workflow to again deploy, build your website, and then creating the artifact, uploading it, and then deploy this artifact to GitHub Pages. So here, if we navigate to the URL, yes, this is your personal website or your personal blog post. Welcome to Jekyll. This is the default one, and this is the one that we have added. And the configuration updated successfully. Everything work as we would like to have. So now if you would like to customize this theme, as I mentioned, this is the default theme. There are a lot of open source themes that you would like that you can use to your website. If you navigating here, Jekyll theme repos, you can find a list of interesting theme. This theme, and this is the one here. This is the one we use for our community blog post and for Radwan blog post and even for my own blog post. This one. Let's open the our community blog post to just have a look to see that this is the same theme, and here this is the dark theme. And if you would like to use this theme or any other one, you can navigate to its repo or site, and you can find the documentation and the step-by-step that will help you to use this theme.
I chose very nice one for our project documentation, which is very similar to GitHub documentation. It will be very similar to that.
Yes. And this is how to writing new post. So how to write new post, it will help you if you not familiar more with Markdown. So that's it for the third demo.
Yeah, that's a really great, Rahab. Thank you so much. So as you can see, it's very easy to create your project documentation. let's say, for example, as we have presented, creating documentation for your frameworks or tools as a part of your documenting all your information and publish that at the GitHub pages. This is exactly how Azure Docs and GitHub Docs is, configured, which is really can have a comprehensive documentation about your projects. Okay, that's it. So, any questions from the audience? Any questions here? Let me open the live on LinkedIn. I didn't see any question on LinkedIn, but so any question from people attending here? No question? Okay, let me ask you, Rahab, tips and tricks for people that they would like to migrate from WordPress to GitHub Pages. So can you give us some tips and tricks for this migration, what you would recommend and so on?
Okay, when I started this task, I have no idea how can I do it. So I started thinking of maybe just write a script to convert the pages in it was HTML pages and see yes, it was HTML. So I started thinking to create a script to take the HTML files and convert it to Markdown to the same format that the blog post
Yeah.
or the theme that I used have. So I did it. I wrote a script and did the migration. But what after finished, I found there are I think many tools that do this, that do the migration from WordPress to GitHub Pages. So you can search for it and use it. It's don't reinvent the wheel as, as I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there, for example, cloud services, or you need to install it, or I mean,
Yeah, I think plugins or tools you need to install at it, and it will, you need to install inside your WordPress site, and it take all files and convert it to GitHub Pages and do all this.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And of course, anyone can, come up to you and maybe get your advice. Okay. Yeah, that's a great. So any question? Okay, to wrap up, so thank you, Rahab, so much. Thanks everyone for attending today's session. And again, GitHub Pages really great technology, gave you free hosting. It saved me $400 per year, so I really appreciate that so much. Okay, so let's call a day and see you later in other session. Bye.